Josh Green here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by Frank Smith. One day out here from Next Gen in Liverpool. How are you doing, Frank?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Enjoying Liverpool. Great to be back. Big fight city, and it's going to be good.
As you say there, Liverpool, big fight city, but maybe clamouring for another big star. We've had Tony Bellew in the past, obviously. The Smith brothers, a few of which are here today. Could Peter McGrail be that next big star?
I think there's loads of names. Yeah, Peter McGrail for sure. You know, a lot of people write fighters off after a loss, as I've said, but I think Peter McGrail's still got so much more to give, and I think he can be selling out this arena in Liverpool in the years to come. So much other talent on the card as well from Liverpool, and excited to be back here. You know, we're looking at areas now where we can build fighters, grow, develop, and places that show a real interest in boxing. And Liverpool is one of those. Liverpool always has been. They want to see real fights. They want to see proper fighters taking proper fights, and that's what we aim to do.
Where do you see as the fight capital of the UK at the moment?
I think there's so many. Honestly, I think London's tough. I think Manchester's tough. I think some of these cities where there's so much going on and so much competition is a lot tougher. But you know, areas like Sheffield, like Liverpool, you know, like this, where we've proven, you know, over the years we've proven that can deliver big nights. Belfast as well is another place. You know, I think there's quite a few like that. But we got to build the right talent, and that's our job to do.
One thing I didn't touch on yesterday was Pat McCormack. Unfortunately, his fight being pulled at fairly late notice. Disappointing for Pat, and I'm sure frustrating as well.
Yeah, look, he's had a lot of bad luck, Pat. You know, but I spoke to him yesterday or the day before. We got to make a plan now. We got to get him active as quickly as possible, and he needs to get into the right fight. Pat McCormack is a tremendously skilled fighter, and we can't waste time with him. You know, he's had a lot of bad luck. He's pulled out of a couple of fights now with injuries, but we got to get him back in, and we got to get him in the right fight and move him very quickly. So that's what we're working to do. Got a great team behind him, obviously, with Ben Davison and all the guys. So you know, that's our job now, to get him back out as soon as possible.
Big step up for Jana Boston. He goes in on his chief support tomorrow night. Why was that preferred to Beatrice in the world title fight?
I think because, you know, we're obviously UK fights. He sold a lot of tickets as well for the fight tomorrow night. You know, and he's one of our young talents coming through, as is Bia. But I think, you know, tickets plays a part in it as well, in the atmosphere. We want to make sure that we retain all those fans in there for the main event as well. So yeah, it was part of the reason. But both great fights, and looking forward to them.
We talked about Beatrice Ferrer and her journey, obviously world title this weekend, and hoping to go, well, will we go into the Olympics in the summer? Why do you think we haven't seen more of that? Why is that possible for Beatrice and we haven't seen that for other fighters?
I think there's many other fighters going to the Olympics. I think Jalalov is one of them, apparently going to the Olympics. So he's obviously a pro, going back to the amateurs. I'm sure there's others as well. Depends, I think, on the independent, on the each body involved in it. So each of the countries' bodies that are involved in it. But I'm sure we'll see more of it as the years go on. But I think, as I said yesterday, I like the fact I made up that is actually a fact. Should be the first.
Is it a fact? Is it confirmed?
I've confirmed it. No one said it isn't. She'll be the first world champion, active world champion, to go and win a gold medal.
Lovely stuff. We talked yesterday about Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, but we didn't really get to touch on their futures quite as much. Ryan Garcia, now a huge star in the sport, that following that he's gained from Saturday night is absolutely massive. In terms of those big names, maybe outside the heavyweight division, where does he sit now, in your opinion?
I'd say he's probably in the top 5, really, you know, in global boxing right now. I think it's hard to argue that. You know, he's got a different audience as well. You know, bringing a different audience into the sport, maybe to a lot of these other fighters. He's definitely getting people talking about him, so he's doing a good job. But you know, he's proven, and he's delivering in the ring as well. So fair play to him, and he's taking real fights, and that's what people want to see.
What do you think could be next for him? A lot of people have mentioned a Tank rematch, Boots Ennis. I think he's going.
I don't see the Tank rematch if he's saying about going up for 147. But I think he's going to, from what I've seen online, obviously we don't represent him, but he's going to take some time out of the ring now, focus on some other things, and then he'll be back. But he's in a great place because he delivers big numbers, and he takes fights. You know, the Haney rematch would be interesting as well. You know, that'd be an interesting fight. It was a massive build-up, and I'm sure people would love to see it again.
How do you think the build-up would differ, if at all, if that rematch to be ordered? Do you think he would act different?
Probably not. I think that's what we get. What you see is what you get now.
I want to talk about yourself and some comments made by BOXXER pro to Ben Shalom. He said jealousy was playing a part. He obviously owns his own business. You work for Matchroom Boxing under the banner with Eddie. What was your reaction when you saw those comments?
Look, I take it with a pinch of salt. You know, I'm not the jealous type. I've never been jealous. You know, it's not in me. I'm not. I made a joke maybe about my missus years ago if someone was talking to her, but when it comes to business, I'm happy for people who do well. I'm happy for people who work hard. I've worked hard from a tea boy, as people know, to making good coffee now. So I'm happy when people do well. I always will be. I haven't got that character in me to look at it that way. You know, I have a part of the Matchroom business. You know, I'm involved. So it's not. He owns 10% maybe of his business. I own a little bit less of a global business that's worth over £1 billion. So, you know, it's not comparing. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not like I haven't got the same ability to make money. All of this, I don't really care about that. I'm just enjoying myself, and what I said about him, I believe. You know, so he can't. I don't understand the piece of being unprofessional, because I'm just giving my opinion. I don't like the way he operates, thus I don't like him, you know. But he doesn't have to worry about my opinion. Like, I'm just, who am I? If you're a good person and you do everything right, good luck. And good luck to him, and get on with it. And, you know, I've said many times, you don't have to like someone to do business. You have to take the emotion out of it. You know, if you can do good business, great. If you can't, no worries. I'm not meeting him for a beer every Friday, he's not my mate. And I'm just giving my honest view, and I'm not going to change that view. It's not a company push decision. I don't have Eddie Hearn ring me up saying, say this about Ben Shalom. The reality is Ben Shalom doesn't get on Eddie Hearn's radar. You know, I'm just giving my opinion based on things I know about it, and that's my opinion, not led by Eddie Hearn. It's not the kind of business where I get told what to do. If he told me what to do, probably, you know, wouldn't be there, because I'm not just a parrot. It's my view. It might not even be Eddie Hearn's view. It's not Matchroom's view. So it's my personal opinion, and good luck to him. Let's not go. It is what it is. I will remain. I have the same energy. It's not going to change. You're going to struggle to change it, but good luck to him.
I do want to talk to you about a tweet and some comments from Oscar De La Hoya that came out, I believe, yesterday as well. I'm just going to read you a little bit of the tweet. No promoter is coming into my territory and think they can take over my sport. In his words, defending his sport there.
Yeah, I think he's got partly a thing around Eddie not being a boxer, but you don't have to have taken part in it to understand how to grow a business and what people want. You know, and look, we have utmost respect for anyone who gets in the ring. Of course, you know, it's one of the hardest sports in the world. But Oscar, I don't know, it must be difficult, obviously, seeing a few guys come from London and do what we've done in the sport in the US. But again, we just want to do good business. And just because there's public spats not with Eddie and Oscar, but from Oscar, it doesn't stop us doing business. We have a good relationship with a lot of the people who work with Oscar as part of his Golden Boy team, and we still make things happen. So, you know, take it with a pinch of salt and move on. It's not going to change. I think his energy is going to remain the same over the next few years, so we just have to keep going.
Final thing from me, I mentioned in terms of Ryan Garcia's next moves, possible rematch with Tank, Boots Ennis have all been mentioned, but Conor Benn, a little bit of a back and forth between Conor and Ryan Garcia, poking fun at the fact that Conor isn't in a position to fight in the UK at the moment. Is that fight makeable elsewhere?
Any fight is makeable. It's a huge fight. So we'll see what happens. You know, Conor Benn's fought multiple times in the US in recent times because he's cleared to fight. We obviously, as we've said on multiple occasions, we want to get boxing back in the UK. That is a focus of ours. That's what we want to see happen. But yeah, definitely a fight for down the road. Can you imagine the build up to that one?
With Conor Benn, I mean, that fight in the UK, is there any sort of timeline we could get? Any news on Conor Benn back in the UK?
As soon as we know, everyone will know.
Cheers for your time, Frank.
Cheers, mate.